Hello, everybody. We'll get started right at noon. I see a lot of you joining. Thank you so much for joining and spending your lunchtime with us. I'm just going to mute to allow more of you to join. And thanks again. Okay, it is noontime. Testing 1, 2, 3. You can hear me, correct? If you can hear me, just say hello in the chat, and we'll get started in a minute with the agenda. I see a lot of people in the chat, so I'm taking it. You can hear me. Yay. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm so excited to see you all. So just before we begin, know that I try to make this as interactive and entertaining and informative as possible. So please use the chat to ask any questions. I will be pausing throughout this webinar, which I have you all until 1 p.m. We may not take all that time, but sometimes I really start get passionate about some of our benefits and our chapters, etc. So we might just get to 1. But again, please use the chat box or the Q&A box, and my team here, who I'll introduce in a moment, they will be answering, and we'll be answering the questions live. This is being recorded, so by early next week, this will be up on YouTube. Yeah. Also, before the end of today, I will be sending you this presentation, the slides to the presentation. So you don't have to take notes on everything, but feel free to take notes. Just know that we will send you a follow-up email with the slides and probably follow-up links to things that we think will help you answer some of the questions you have and just spend some time on your own looking at information that may help you get the most out of your PIHRA membership. So let's keep this going by talking to you about the agenda. Oh, great. I see people from the Valley and Glendale. By the way, I'm in near downtown LA. So shout out to PIHRA LA folks. And so right now we're in the welcome phase. I'm going to give you a general update. We're still kind of in this COVID recovery phase, so I'll talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to do a poll because I want you to walk away with the information that you are seeking to get the most out of this PIHRA membership. So we're going to ask you, what did you come here to ask about and to learn about? And so we'll really focus on those areas. I have right around 30 slides. So believe me, I'll talk to you a lot about PIHRA. I love PIHRA. So, but I really want to focus in on what you want to know about PIHRA. Then I'm going to introduce myself a little bit more. But as you see, my name is Lily Arguello. I am the director of membership. And I don't have it up there because it's a little too long, but I got my SHRM SCP, or I passed my SHRM SCP in January 2021. So if anyone has any questions about HR certification, we could talk about that. I'm also going to introduce our special guest who you see here, Edgar Garcia-Mora. He's the chair of PIHRA South Bay, and we'll let him talk a little bit more about himself at that point. Then my plan is to give you just a brief overview of PIHRA, and then talk about our member benefits, and then most importantly, the professional development and networking benefits that you get as a PIHRA member and just what all our HR community gets, because you don't always have to be a member to go to our professional development meetings. And then I'll just wrap it up, making sure that we answer any questions and that you walk away with what you need. So I hope that sounds like a plan. I see a lot of chats. Oh, yeah, Elisette is in the Bay Area. I'll get to Elisette in a second. Oh, USC, you're close to me. Oh, hi, Karen. Okay, great. Okay, well, how exciting. I'm going to try to be monitoring the chat, but I know Edgar and Elisette are going to help me. But I like looking at it too. All right, so what's going on? We are in May. Is it May already, 2022? Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we had shut down in March 2020, and we went totally virtual. Well, 2.5 years later, we are excited because we have really picked up our virtual professional development options. So we have up to 3 webinars per month, and they're free to all members in 2022. So that is a great added value to our members. And I know I've been participating in some of those. We, for 2020 and 2021, we did the annual California HR conference virtually. And in May, we're still recovering, May 9th through 11th, we did the California HR conference in person for the first time in 2 years, but we also had a virtual component. We could talk a little bit about that. If you attended, let us know in the chat, and we could talk about our own experiences with that. Really excited to say that as of last year, our chapters had been doing some in-person socials and meetings, and some of our chapters, depending on their comfort level with in-person and where they are geographically, they've started doing monthly meetings or even bi-monthly meetings. So I know PIHRA Coachella Valley is doing them, PIHRA South Bay, where Edgar's the chair, they've been doing some meetings. So we'll talk about that. But you're going to see more and more in-person meetings. If that's your thing, they're coming. And it's really exciting because it's nice. I'm kind of tired of being home all the time, and it's a little alienating. So getting back to seeing our friends and colleagues is just a wonderful thing. So that's picking up. Please remember to frequent the PIHRA calendar. Here's the URL to make sure that you see what we have going on. And really, I think that PIHRA offers the most affordable, accessible, and actionable professional development in California. So really want to invite you to do that. So I see some things in the chat. Yay. Oh, good. People attended the conference. Hello, San Diego. Okay. So what we're going to do next, with the help of Elisette, we are going to launch a poll. Because again, let us know, this only gives you one option. So if you have 2 things you really want to walk away with, pick your number 1 option on the poll, and just your second question, put it in the chat, and we'll try to get to those. So there's 23 of us, so I got 7 people responding so far. I'd like to hear from all of you, and let's see what you want to walk away from the webinar today. Networking opportunities, great. Those who want to start networking, you can do it now. Put in your LinkedIn. HR certification, okay. Benefits, seminars. All right, maybe 5 more seconds, Elisette, we could share the results. Okay, are these the results? All right. Yeah, networking opportunities. Let's start now. I'll talk a lot about that with my friends here that are helping me. Seminars, benefits, and HR certification. Sounds good. So with that, let's do some introductions. And I see there's some secondary Okay, again, please let us know if there's any additional questions and anything else you want to walk away with. Before we start answering those questions, let me introduce some folks. So I'm there in the middle. My name is Lily Arguello. I'm the Director of Membership. I joined PIHRA in 2014. Actually, this month is my 8th anniversary. I cannot believe it. And I love working with PIHRA. My position at PIHRA was a great marriage of my work in organizational development. I was kind of grew up in the consulting world. Anyone has questions, we could set up a time to talk about that. So that was my career trajectory. And then I wanted to go internal, and some things, 2008, 2009 hit, and I ended up going to the nonprofit area and ended up at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, where I was doing membership building, more partnership building, focused on our work in the inner cities and lower income quartiles of LA County. Actually, our footprint was the same footprint as PIHRA. We had San Bernardino, LA, similar. And so I was recruited by our CEO, Rafael Rivera, who I'll introduce you in a moment, through LinkedIn, because I was doing some volunteer work for the National Association of Women MBAs, and he knew somebody I knew. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile up and ready and really highlighting your skills, please do, because I think that's how a lot of people are getting recruited. So I love my work at PIHRA, and really love my team. Real quickly, Elisette Sapian is here. You see her. By the way, it is her birthday. So before we really embarrass her, let's ask her to unmute and just say hello and introduce herself.
Thank you, Lily. And thank you everyone for your wishes in the chat. I'm so grateful to be a part of PIHRA as well. I've been here with PIHRA for I think almost 6 years this summer. And like Lily mentioned, we are delighted to serve you, and we are always accessible to you if you ever need to reach us. Lily and I are always there. I'm usually the first person that you get to speak to if you dial the main number. So if you have any questions, always dial the main number, and I will get you to the person that you want to speak to. So yeah, I'm kind of getting distracted by the chat box here with all the emojis and the happy birthday wishes, but I'm so grateful to be here. And again, thank you all for joining us for your lunch today.
Elisette is wonderful. I am so honored and privileged to have her on my team. I think we're a great team. I'm hoping, in this great resignation, she doesn't get stolen away. But she is the first person you'll likely talk to. My expectation for my team is that we return an email or call within 24 hours. I'm really good with emails, so usually I'm on it. So I can respond pretty quickly. With voicemail, it may take a little longer, but we're here for you. We're primarily volunteer led. We actually have the largest staff of any SHRM affiliate, but we can't do this without our volunteers. So Matt Pallets, who's here on my left, he is the chair of the membership committee. He represents membership at the PIHRA board level, and I'm going to talk about our structure as we go along. But he's very accessible, very passionate about his work with PIHRA. So if anyone wants to reach out to him, he is what I call a service provider, and they're the natural partners to the HR world. I want you to, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about our membership demographics, but service providers are great people to be connected with. So don't fear them. They're the first person that are going to find out about an HR job that might be, hot. And really great resources. Our service provider members are just phenomenal and great people to get to know. And with that, I'm going to introduce my guest here and have him unmute. So Edgar Garcia-Mora is the chair of PIHRA South Bay, and he's also the associate vice president of Bolton. Edgar, talk to us about yourself.
Thanks, Lily. You did say it's great to know some service providers, so Q, service provider here. Now, since this time is really meant for you all here to hear about the wonderful PIHRA resources and opportunities available through your membership, I'm going to keep it pretty succinct and brief about myself. As Lily mentioned, my name is Edgar Garcia-Mora. Professionally, I am a group employee benefits broker, and I work with Bolton Insurance Services, and I strive to help my clients develop and deliver a robust employee benefits package that hopefully aligns company culture with their organizational needs and cost objectives. Now, I've also dabbled in HR for many years as an outside consultant, helping my friends, my family, and my fiance with their respective businesses, and ultimately just trying to help them ensure that they understand the value of HR. I'm actually, happy to say that I'm studying right now to finally take my HR certification test. I'm going to be taking it by the end of next month, so fingers crossed and wish me luck on that. I love my job because it does afford me the flexibility to give back with time. As such, I am proud to serve on the board of directors for many nonprofits that are actually near and dear to my heart. Chief amongst those are, for example, the Academy of Special Dreams. They strive to increase public awareness and create opportunities for artists with disabilities. My local Rotary Club, I'm the area governor for my district, and that outlet gives me the ability to shape my local community whilst also being able to change the lives of others across the world, because I create international projects that I participate in as well. I also participate with my alma mater, Cal State LA, and of course, can't forget the South Bay PIHRA chapter, where I've been fortunate to serve on the board of directors for a few years now as the sponsorship chair before I was tapped and voted in as the chapter chair earlier this year. Now, I'm going to drop in my LinkedIn and contact information in the chat. I'm always a call, a text, or an email away should you ever find yourselves in need of any help, PIHRA related, or if you're new to HR and maybe you're, just have some questions, I'm here for you. Also, don't be shy to chat with us during the webinar, as Liddy mentioned, as well as Ellie said. I'm going to be on there managing that and helping Alyssa answer any questions of yours as they come up. So thanks for the time, Lily.
Edgar, thank you so much. I mean, I think, what our attendees today want to hear about is networking. And so one of the things that I really want to hit home, and it was only because of all the mentors and people in my life, is that I want to encourage you, like Edgar talked about, networking is great, going and handing out your business cards, but there's nothing like gaining visibility through volunteer leadership. And so Edgar, I got this job because of my volunteer leadership at another organization. So if you want to volunteer through PIHRA or through other organizations like Edgar was talking about, I know I've volunteered since NABA. I volunteered with the local women's club. So that is networking on steroids, because that's how people, you don't just get to know people, they get to know you. And so when people do business with others, it's because they get to know them, they like them, they see the quality of their work. And so PIHRA is a great opportunity and a low risk opportunity for you to build that volunteer leadership skill. And it really is networking, taking networking at another level. So we'll talk more about that. Please connect with Edgar. He can connect you with other people. What is that called? Like the six degrees of
separation.
Exactly. So once you get to know us, you go to a South Bay, which you have a South Bay event coming up, he can introduce you to some more people, and you never know who you're going to click with. So just pushing that networking piece. There's a lot of opportunities, both online and in person. And if you have any questions about networking, I have a lot of opinions about that. So anyway, Edgar, I'm so pleased that you're here. Please chime in at any time as we get through this conversation.
I'll say one thing, Lily, on that note for networking. Yes, super vital, very important. I mean, I definitely have my nuggets to kind of chime in on that when we get to that part later in the presentation. But going back to the visibility of being on the board or just volunteering your time, I know I can speak from experience. We just recently added someone to the social media chair on our board, and everyone loved working with her, so much so that we actually ended up getting her a job. She just graduated from, CSUN, a local university, and we liked working with her. She let us know she was in the market, and we just happened to know of a position for her. So we just made the connection, and it was pretty streamlined. And with that being said, also, if anyone here is in the market for maybe some sort of technical recruiter, I have a client right now who's looking for someone good, and someone who's just passionate about what they do. So just connect with me on the side if that's interesting to you, and I can share the job description.
Networking at its best. I have another success story like that. A student coming out of Cal State Fullerton, who was the president of their student chapter, then joined the South Orange County chapter and got a job and continued to get jobs through the visibility she gained through PIHRA. So it's not just shaking hands, everybody, and trading business cards. It's going that next level, and I promise you, it pays dividends. And plus, we want people to do social media for our chapters. What another fantastic way to kind of build your scope of influence and having people see you do that. Anyway, let's really quickly go through our overview, because not many of you asked about this, but want to share, this is our mission. We exist to serve the California human resource community, and we do that by through our innovative programs, our conference. Some of you said you attended virtually. We just got done with it. It was fantastic, even in this real pivotal year for us, where nothing quite worked out the way we thought it was going to work out, because we're new to doing in-person and virtual. It's like doing two different conferences, and our high impact networking opportunities, like Edgar mentioned. If you really invest your time in PIHRA or a similar organization, you will get noticed, and the networking just becomes even more powerful. We were established in 1944 by a group of personnel managers, and they got together in downtown Los Angeles, asking questions around how do we develop people to become stronger human resource or personnel candidates. Back then we called it industrial relations as well. And so they got together to say what are the sorts of education that we can help provide to this community. What sort of certifications do they need? I also like to say at this point that we were established before SHRM. Many of you know the Society of Human Resource Management. Obviously, they're now global. I think they have over 250,000 members. So they pretty much outpaced us. But we were established before then. Then many years later, we became affiliated with SHRM. So we're actually the largest SHRM affiliate in the country. I could verify that with the reports that I received, but I actually think we are the largest in the world. They do have an affiliate in India and China, but I still think we're bigger. So that's a little history about PIHRA. And here's some very important VIPs within PIHRA. Tara Fournier is a SPHR SHRM SDP, and she's the president of the PIHRA board. So great example, we have a board at the association level, and we have chapter boards, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Very accessible, very passionate about PIHRA. She's also very connected with SHRM, and she's a great leader. This is my boss, Rafael Rivera. He's the one that recruited me over. I really credit Rafael. He's been with PIHRA, I think it's 11 years now, and I credit him for taking the annual conference to the next level. I think in 2013, it had been called the PIHRA Annual Conference. He rebranded it to the California HR Conference. And I also really credit him for building a fantastic team during his tenure. Our team is a little smaller now. Those are one of the impacts of the pandemic, but just a great person to work with. And he has experience in associations, and I just can't talk about him enough. I really love to be on his team. Also accessible. If you want to contact him and let him know what a great job we all did here on this webinar, feel free to do that too. I see some things in the chat. So, oh, that's Edgar. Yes, please get a hold of Edgar. He's just a fantastic person to know. And for all of you who are interested in HR certification, I'm going to get to that a little later, but please speak to as many folks who have gone through that process as possible. It can be a kind of mystifying process. And I'll talk about my experience as well. I don't think I have a slide on it, but when I get to learning and development in this webinar, I am going to talk about that because I think HR certification is extremely important. And I think Edgar can testify to that. A little bit about who our members are. Actually, this is a little outdated from the end of 2021. Right now, we're right around 4,000 members. Our membership has constricted, likely due to the pandemic. Our members represent over 2,700 organizations. Right around 40% of our membership is at the HR business partner / generalist level, and then 26% are at the HR director and beyond level. I talked about service providers. Right now, right around 5% of our membership base are service providers. Again, these are our insurance brokers, financial advisors, retirement financial advisors, the staffing folks, the executive coaches. Don't fear them. Most of our members really are here to build relationships. It's their job to connect with HR professionals, so they know about the latest of what's happening at different companies in different industries, and so they're a great resource for learning and connection. So don't want you to forget about that group. Right around 37% of our members are HR certified through the two key certification agencies. One is HRCI, the Human Resource Certification Institute. Elisa, if you could put that URL in the chat, please. And then SHRM certification. SHRM came out with a certification in 2015. I received my SHRM SEP. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So if you're interested in HR certification, start researching those organizations. They both have various types of certification. So, and it's really important in my mind, it can boost your career. I got a raise when I got SHRM certified, so I'm sure you'll be able to do that. And there are some statistics out there about how much it can increase your earning power. I'm not going to talk to you too much more about the rest of the slide. Just know that the top 4 industries represented by our members are consulting, healthcare, education, and manufacturing right now. So we have a great group of members. I also want to say here that I think we have the warmest community of members that I've met. I think you can go to any chapter meeting and really feel connected. Obviously, the different chapters have different cultures and might look a little differently, but I've never felt so embraced by a group than the PIHRA chapter members. So I'm going to pause for a second because I feel like I've been talking a lot. I see something in the chat. So anything we should bring up? Great.
Yeah, we have Cecily in the chat inquiring about the student membership and HRCI SHRM certifications.
Yeah, so we do have student members. We have a great student membership. You get all the same benefits as a professional member, except that you're not a voting member. So when we are in board elections and things like that, you don't have a vote there. Do we have a lot of student members? Due to COVID, that number has declined. I think we're right around under 100 student members, but at one point that had grown to 200. We have 12 student chapters, and actually, Elisa, if you can give them give Cicely the URL to our student chapters. We have chapters at Cal State LA. We have one at USC. We have our most active student chapter is at Cal State, Cal Poly, which is a Cal State, but it's Cal Poly in Pomona. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into our student chapters. We try to engage them at the chapter level and at the association level as much as possible. And when I first started, I think we had 3 or 4 student chapters, and we've grown that to 12. So it is something that is a priority for us. Right now, the pandemic has kind of realigned us in a different way, but I hope to continue to nurture that. And I'm going to talk to you about one of our specialty groups in a moment that is a great connection for our student members. It's called PIHRA Emerging Leaders. So not many of you asked about our chapters. We have 17 chapters. This is a map of our footprint. I don't know if my cursor, here we go. Hopefully you can see my cursor. 17 chapters, 4 communities. Here's South Bay. There are our West Coast chapter. They're kind of a mid-sized chapter, right, Edgar? You meet mostly at a Hawthorne. I think you're having an event in Redondo Beach. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, definitely accurate. And our socials, we're having about 4 this year, in-person socials, and mostly virtual programs. We're definitely getting back to in-person programs. I think our next one is August, so wish us luck with that. And then we're gonna have another one in November.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great PIHRA leaders that have come out of South Bay. The propsters were around when I was a PIHRA member. By the way, I didn't say this. I was a PIHRA member before I ever dreamed of being on staff. And I remember going to their career development meetings. They've just been fantastic and friends to PIHRA for many, many years. We have chapters going south to Temecula Valley. So when they meet, I don't know if they started their in-person meetings, but they would meet out of Temecula. And our South OC chapter is our largest chapter. At one point in 2018, we had a record year. They had over 700 members. Right now, they're right around 500 members, and they meet near the Irvine Airport, I think that's what it's called, in Newport Beach, in that area. So they are going back to, just last night, I think they had a social in the evening in Irvine at a place called Puesto. So we go as far east as Coachella Valley. They meet out of Palm Desert. They've been having monthly meetings. So anyone out there or wants to go out there leaving early, I might do that this summer. They have great meetings, great breakfasts, and great professional development. We go as far north as Antelope Valley. This group is starting to meet, and they usually meet out of Palm Desert. And I have a list before we end of all the different meetings that are happening at the end of May and June, so that you can register. I want you to set a goal. Oh, one last thing before I end. PIHRA Los Angeles, they meet out of downtown. They have been meeting, having socials. I think they're planning their next in-person meeting. They're our second largest chapter. So if you have any questions about any of these chapters, let me know. Please attend one of the webinars or the in-person meetings. Usually when you become a member, you select your preferred chapter. So that might be the chapter that's most convenient for you. The majority have morning breakfast meetings, but some have lunch meetings. So just yesterday, I went to the PIHRA Long Beach lunch meeting. It was their first meeting since the pandemic, and they meet for lunch at the Grand off of Willow. So as a member, you receive the member price to go to these events. There is an additional cost because they have to cover the food and beverage and the venue cost. Plus there's professional development where you can earn your recertification credits and just build up that knowledge base of HR techniques and things that you need to be the best you can be in your career. Is there some questions in the chats or anything?
Lily, they were just Cecily and Ilse were asking if you could be a part of one chapter, but then join a different chapter socials and events. So
absolutely, great question. So yes, you can belong to, say, I'm actually a member of the PIHRA Los Angeles chapter, but I go to PIHRA Long Beach meetings. When you register online, you would get the member price. If you go on site, so you show up that day, they don't have you on their roster. probably will give you the member price, but I would just encourage you, if you go to a chapter that's not your preferred chapter, just to register online beforehand. So you can go to any of the chapter meetings. It doesn't matter. You would receive the member price. I just encourage you to, if you're not going to your chapter meeting, to register in advance. All of these chapters are quite autonomous. They have their individual board, as Edgar was talking about. He's the chair of the South Bay board. They have a membership chair, a program chair, a hospitality chair, a sponsorship chair, et cetera, et cetera. So these are a great first step and a great first place for you to kind of tip your toe into volunteering with PIHRA. They're all a little different, but so you may want to go to a couple different meetings to see where you feel good. I like to work with people that I have fun with. And so I just encourage you to, if you go to a PIHRA LA meeting or a PIHRA West LA meeting or a Ventura County meeting and you're like, not really feeling connected, go to a meeting that's either closer to your office or closer to your home. And I'm confident that you'll feel connected there. Any questions before I leave this slide? Great, great, great. Can you be part of the, yes, Ilsa, please, Glendale, by the way, Burbank Glendale is having meetings every month. And yes, you can join the Downtown LA Social, no problem. Okay, so we do have 4 communities, which I talked about. One of our communities is in San Diego, North San Diego County. So since the pandemic, they haven't been meeting that much, but I do anticipate that they start having some socials coming up here soon. They connect a lot with the PIHRA South OC group. So that's one of our communities. We have a significant number of members in North San Diego. They usually attend our conferences and our California Employment Law update. The next couple slides, I'm going to introduce you to 3 of our other PIHRA communities. The PIHRA Foundation is one. They've existed since the 80s, late 80s, I believe, and they exist to raise funds for scholarships for our community. You do not have to be a PIHRA member to receive a scholarship, by the way. Their scholarships range. There's a spring window and a fall window. The fall window usually opens in October. We just passed the spring window. They also have their own board. So this is another opportunity. I think they're looking for people to volunteer on their board because they raise funds. Back when they were established, they also developed a booklet called You and Your First Job. So at times they would put together delegations to go to local high schools, local community colleges to do mock interviews and share that information with them. Let's see, so their scholarships can range from, I think it's $500 to $3,000, and they provide scholarships for people who are studying and pursuing their their HR certification. So I think it's either through HRCI or SHRM, or that they're pursuing a degree in HR. So please be on the lookout for that. Again, I believe the next window will open up at the end of September, early October. So, and please tell people about it. I don't think enough people apply for this scholarship. So please tell your community about that. I see a question about memberships. So are there several memberships available? We do have different membership types. The professional member, it's pretty simple. The professional member type is for individuals who are HR practitioners in roles that are exempt. So you've been an HR practitioner for more than 3 years. You're not an hourly employee. You are a person who makes decisions in the HR field, or you're HR certified. General members are everyone that doesn't meet that criteria. So those are the 2. We also have multi-year memberships. We have an at-large membership for folks who live outside of our geography. And then we also have a student membership for folks who are enrolled in a full-time program and working less than 20 hours a week. So yes, thank you, Elisette. There's a description. We have several membership types. If you're a first timer and you're still in the early entrant phase of your HR career, I would just go with the general membership. But if you're certified and you're in an exempt employee, then the professional would be right for you. So great question. And again, stop me if I missed anything, team. Club PIHRA. Club PIHRA is going through some transitions, but they exist and cater to the HR professional who manages the summer picnic, the employee Christmas party, employee recognition programs. And before the pandemic, they met quarterly and they did all kinds of fun events. So they would meet at Magic Mountain, they'd have a meal component. By the way, all these meetings, the chapter meetings, there is a networking component. So sorry if that wasn't clear, but they're great places to network. I know, hey, Edgar, I feel like going back, but I'd love for you to describe what a chapter meeting looks like. Because you guys do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I mean, so we have 3 different types of meetings right? I mean, the in-person programs, typically we have breakfast meetings. So we get there at 7:30. 7:30 to 8, it's practically like networking. You're getting breakfast, you're sitting at a table with other folks, you're just connecting, exchanging cards, talking about work, whatever it is, might create value for you. Then we introduce a speaker, our announcements, for PIHRA updates, chapter updates, just notify them of upcoming events, and then we launch into our program itself. So we do have a big focus on networking, because it does create a lot of value for folks. Now, when we were doing it virtually, and we were going to be doing some programs virtual, we are still doing that. And by that, I mean, we are having breakout sessions via Zoom. So what I do is I send everyone out to breakout rooms for about 15-20 minutes. And I'm always periodically switching folks around, so that way they can still kind of mingle with different people. Now, the goal is it's kind of like a round robin. So once you get into the room, exchange information, exchange names, because I might just pluck you and put you in another room before you have a chance to do that. So everyone's super receptive to that. And then, of course, we have our socials, and that's 99% of that is all networking. We get there, we do give our sponsors some time to just talk. It's usually 2 to 3 minutes, and all they do is just mostly raffle prizes to attendees. So all our members are always eager to get the sponsors up and talking. But we're always looking for, new outlets. So if any of you have any ideas, even if you're not our chapter member, I encourage you to join our meetings. We have a social coming up on June 15th. It's going to be at the Blue Water Grill. So please drop on by. Let me know if you want to attend. I'll get you a complimentary pass into our event. So that way you can start networking and putting some faces to the names.
Yeah, and what I love about most of our chapters, and this ties back to what Club PIHRA was doing. For example, at PIHRA Long Beach and PIHRA South Bay, and I think most of them, during the announcement portion of the meeting, they'll usually ask, does anyone have any open HR positions? Please let us know. And then I know when I was in, because I belonged to PIHRA Long Beach when I first started, I think it was in 2006, 2007. I was new to the meeting, and I told them what my goal was. I was looking for an HR position. And so the chair, whoever is emceeing the meeting, will ask, is anyone looking for an HR position? And they'll give you time to introduce yourself and give your elevator pitch. So I love that. And then they asked me to volunteer. So when I said that this was one of the warmest communities, that's how that is. So if you're shy, please dust off that shyness, get your elevator pitch ready, because particularly in the in-person meetings, you may be asked to introduce yourselves and be able to pitch what you're looking for. So isn't that right, Edgar? I love the way you did that virtually.
We do that, yeah, and in person too. I know that started with the professors when we were doing that, and it just gives everyone an opportunity to get to know you and build that connection there. And virtually, we do the same thing. And when I ask our members, leading up to the meeting, is if anyone's in transition. looking for an opportunity, or if you yourself are looking to hire someone on, reach out to me. And all I do is I put all that information together in a slide, and I give a little spiel, during our program updates on who's looking for a job and who's looking to hire someone. And the idea is to then connect, our members, because we have so much talent, we have so much wisdom, and we have just, so much knowledge within every chapter to make sure that every one of us, is able to accomplish our strategic goals.
Absolutely. So same thing happens at the PIHRA Club PIHRA events when they were doing them quarterly. The only additional part is they do professional development at the meetings as well. But if they host it at Knott's Berry Farm or they host it at Magic Mountain, your registration includes a ticket to go into Magic Mountain. So I was never able to get the time off to go to one of the meetings and just bring along my daughter, my partner, so that we can go to Magic Mountain afterwards. So this is a great group. We're all kind of regrouping after the pandemic. This next group is one I'm very proud of, PIHRA Emerging Leaders. They also have their own board. So if any of you, I think it's Cicely, if you are interested in volunteering, they're looking for volunteers. They also did quarterly events. They're in this restructure right now, but they exist to work with people who are newly entering the HR community or transitioning into an HR career. And they do career services types of events or networking events, but a fantastic group to be a part of. I helped establish Emerging Leaders. I have to say this, we helped establish Emerging Leaders, and PIHRA won the SHRM Pinnacle Award for our work in this area in 2015. So very proud of this group. A lot of you wanted to talk about member benefits. So this next, and I'm running out of time. I told you I was gonna use the whole hour. For me, and when I talk to members, because I ask members, like, why have you been a member for 20 years? And they say, the networking and the community building is priceless. I have a former volunteer leader, longtime PIHRA member out of PIHRA Long Beach. She said, I met my best friend through PIHRA. I have other leaders saying, I met my HR Fab Five through PIHRA. This is where you're going to build your HR board of advisors. So whether you are a senior HR person, a middle level HR person, or an entry level person, being an OD consultant, I remember that HR was kind of a lonely job. Sometimes you're dealing with sensitive information, confidential information. You are trying to influence the C-suite, and it could be a very difficult position. Sometimes you can't speak to your internal team in the same way as you can speak to a colleague that you've built a different sort of bond with. Say, for example, you're going through a sexual harassment investigation and you just want to make sure that you speak to someone who's gone through it. This is where you're going to meet that person. So I can't emphasize enough to build relationships and even friendships through our community, because those are the people that you're going to be able to call where there's no one else that you can call. This is also where you're going to build your HR expertise and earning power through our webinars, through the monthly. We have 17 chapters, not all meeting monthly, but there's up to like 4 or 5 meetings a month that you can attend if you're willing to drive. And it's pretty affordable. Most of the meetings are right around, I think, Edgar, what are you guys charging? Like $35, $45 per meeting right now for members? Prices have gone up. So
they have. It's about $40 for members, $45 for non-members.
Right. And you get and you get your professional development and this networking and community building that's just really priceless.
Well, and it's so true. Lily, I'm sorry. I will say that that's the one thing. I mean, I've visited other chapters as well, and the one constant, thing across everything is that leadership is in agreement, and they all really encourage that our members make those meaningful connections, build those genuine friendships, and really just those professional relationships that we hope help elevate them and their organizations to new heights, so that at the end of the day, we're all in a better position to give back, not only to the HR industry, but to our loved ones and to the world around them. So you'll see that across the board, and it's really true.
I just have to comment on that. I calculated that our membership in 2020, and it was 2020, we had 4,400 members. Our membership touched 2.5 million people because HR is, touches humans. So you're absolutely right. We touch a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So just really quickly, last thing here, we do have this wonderful benefit. It's included in your membership. It's we call it the PIHRA Workplace. It's powered by Mineral, which was formerly Think HR. It has hundreds of templates. It has a job description builder, an employee handbook builder, legal summaries. When COVID hit, it had a COVID resource center because everyone was going nuts trying to figure out what to do next with all the compliance regulations. It also includes what I call PIHRA Live. Members can call it an unlimited amount of times between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. to get some additional advice. Oops, sorry, the postman's here. You call them there. This telephone, I think the telephone might be here. Let me go to the next page here. This is the telephone number. Here, 855-306-6460. If you're a member, you might want to give us at least 4 weeks or call us if you don't have access. But if you call them and you're a member and you know you have access, they'll ask for your name, perhaps your company name, and then you can ask any HR question that you have. They usually follow up with an email with any documentation that it would be useful to you. This alone would cost you on your own right around $2,500 to $3,000, and you get that with your PIHRA membership, which is $150 a year. So it's an awesome value.
Really quick question. Karen had a good question. Are the login credentials for Mineral the same as your PIHRA website login?
Great question. So we do have an integration with our website. So if you go to PIHRA, if you log into your PIHRA account, and then go to the PIHRA Workplace URL, you can go in with just your PIHRA login. However, don't get frustrated with it. It's just that it's a partner site. It's not integrated into our website. We just don't have the money to do that with our website. Email me, email Elisette. We'll get you on there. We'll give you really, it's hard to explain in this webinar, but yes, you can get on with just your PIHRA logins, but we do have an alternate way for you to get on so that you can get on really quickly. Definitely encourage you to go to PIHRA.org. Elisa, if you could put this in the chat if you haven't already, PIHRA.org/workplace, and bookmark that, and just make sure that you are logged into your PIHRA account, and then you should get in pretty quickly. It does get tricky, so I don't want you to be frustrated with it. Just call us if you have any problems. We'll get you on there, absolutely. And if we need to get on the phone with you, do a Zoom screen share, we'll do that for you. But this is such a valuable benefit to your membership that I don't want you to lose out on that. I've gone even more over time than usual here. I'm having too much fun with you, Edgar and Elisette. We're not going to be able to sing happy birthday to Elisette, by the way. I think we've run out of time. Here's a member benefit I want to spotlight. You can get free customized training through our partner, Custom Corporate Communications. I always forget, it's C3 for short, and you just have to qualify. So we work with them and have received a grant through California to provide training through this group. It could be training, they even do ESL, Six Sigma, customer service. So you'll get these slides and you can go to this bit.ly to see if you qualify. That's a great benefit there. Volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. I cannot emphasize that enough. I'm so glad that I had a mentor who said, it's just not enough to go to meetings and shake hands. I'm sorry, but it isn't. Volunteering is the way to go. That's how people are going to get to know you. And not just yes, you could start off with an ad hoc sort of position. Like, for example, maybe you could have Edgar with their next social or with an evening event or something like that, or join the membership committee or join the program committee to help with a program here and there. But there's nothing like taking a formal leadership role. Edgar, the propsters, other senior folks are going to be able to see your work ethic and see how you manage your time and your other leadership skills. By the way, when you volunteer in a leadership position, your company's watching out for that. So if you're working for the right sort of manager, they're going to be seeing you invest your own time in building your own leadership skills, and really it positions you for growth at your company as well. So I cannot emphasize enough volunteerism. There's a lot of different ways to volunteer. If you're interested in that, contact me. I will be happy to introduce you to any of the chapter lead board members so that they can talk to you about the volunteer opportunities that they have. I only have 5 minutes. So Edgar, if you want to talk about any opportunities you have at South Bay, please put it in the chat for me. Okay, this is probably some of the most important stuff here. Professional development and learning. I've talked about it throughout. Go to the chapters for learning. They either do, right now, most of them are doing either bi-monthly meetings or monthly meetings. We have virtual webinars, at least 2 or 3 a month. They're free for members. We have the conference that we just did. People can earn up to 32 recertification credits with the on-demand that we're offering. And I'm going to talk to you about Real HR, which is one of our specialty programs that we are doing now. So members get at least $15 off of our professional development meetings. So another great benefit to being a PIHRA member. And PIHRA members also get a discount and a better rate to go to the HR conference and our California Employment Law update, which is happening in October this year. So this is just, again, I want to emphasize free webinars for all of our members. So this is, I calculated it's at least a $300 value if you attend all of them. So please take advantage of the webinars. You could do it from home, and you'll get the recording and a follow-up email and also your recertification credits. So want to talk to you about Real HR. I'm really excited about this program. I helped launch this program in 2018. Our next meeting is on event is on June 23rd at the Peterson Automotive Museum. I'm working in collaboration with PIHRA Los Angeles, PIHRA Burbank Glendale, and PIHRA Pasadena. And we're going to have a great panel. We're still kind of confirming the panel, but we're going to be talking about how to undo the taboos around mental illness at work. Now that we're coming out of this pandemic, we really need to have honest conversations about that and make sure that our employees are, we're doubling down on the healthcare and benefits for our employees, and that they have a space, a safe space to talk about that, and that our HR practitioners have a safe space, and that you also take care of yourself, because I don't know how you've gotten through the last 2 years. We all need to take care of our mental health, because I know from some research out there, we don't even know the impacts yet, all the impacts that the pandemic has had with the stay at home, a lot of neurological impacts to this. So please, I hope you can make it. You can register today. I'm still coming out with all the information about the panel, but it's going to be a fantastic event. So please attend that. Here's a list. Yes. And by the way, we are going to be able to provide tours of the museum a little before the reception starts. So please register today and let us know if you want to go on a tour, because we will have 1 or 2 docents available to do a tour of the general museum space. I was excited when we're going there, because that's where all the Hollywood parties are held. So this is not going to be a Hollywood party, but it's going to be fun. I guarantee it. So please set a goal for yourself. I got 2 minutes left. Please bear with me. Please set a goal for all of you. This group said they wanted to network. I challenge you to go to one PIHRA event each quarter. So we're in Q2 still, right? We're about to get out of Q2. So go to a webinar in May, go to an event in June. Our chapters are doing socials and meetings throughout the year this year. So PIHRA South Bay, as Edgar mentioned, they're going to be in Redondo Beach at the, what is it, Water Grill?
Blue Water Grill?
Blue Water Grill on June 15th. West LA is actually having this social the same day, Edgar. You got to talk to Patrick about that. But that's another good group. So you can go to Redondo Beach and then party hop over to Marina Del Rey, because I think West LA is doing it a little later. Burbank Glendale is having a great lunch meeting on the 21st. So set a goal for yourself, one PIHRA meeting a quarter. If it's not a PIHRA meeting, I want to encourage you to just get out there right now, build community. After this last 2.5 years, we just got together at the California HR conference. It was wonderful to see everybody and just hang out with people. So I challenge you to do that. Wear a mask, take all the precautions you need to take, but get out there, because staying at home and living in this fear, it's been difficult for me. So I'll just disclose personally. We're online. Connect with us online. Our LinkedIn community is fantastic. Each of our chapters has a LinkedIn group. Twitter, I don't think we're doing a lot on Twitter, but you can join us on Twitter. Our Instagram is kind of heating up. I know South OC is doing a lot on Instagram. I really loved what was out there recently, Edgar, for the PIHRA South OC group on Instagram, our Facebook group. We have a forum. So there's many ways to network, many ways. And I'm past time. Please, I want to invite you to reach out to me. I'm going to send you these slides. If you want to talk about HR certification, it'd be my pleasure to schedule time with you. I talked a little bit about it already. I believe in HR certification. I did the SHRM SCP, and I'm not a great test taker. I studied for 150 hours for that test, but that's just me. Don't take that material for granted. Yeah, Edgar might be, I spoke to someone yesterday, they're just great test takers. They pass these tests, not a problem. I'm not one of those people. So I did study groups. I read all the materials. I love the SHRM materials, by the way. It's in my reference library now. I keep it around. And I'm sorry I went a little over, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us during this lunch. And I hope you got the information you need to make the most out of your PIHRA membership. Please stay in touch. Don't have a question that's unanswered. Just reach out to me, Elisette. Now you got Edgar's number, so you can reach out to him. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.